Oh, did I not say I was going to talk about the topic of the day? I think that's what we're going to do right now. So I've been thinking about this for a while, and that is how to discuss what advantage means in a fighting game. But one thing that I think is overlooked when people talk about advantage is people always refer to frame advantage. And if I'm plus 2, I'm plus 3, I'm negative here. Is that move safe on block? What does that all really mean? And how do you go to define that? I think there's a bit more to the equation than just the frame data. Frame data definitely helps out and gives you a big part of the picture, but there's another dimension to the equation that is advantage that you have to explore. I'll just demonstrate that with, one of my favorite go-to moves, EX dash straight from Balrog. This move, if blocked, is +1 on block for Balrog, meaning I am at frame advantage. I am able to move 1 frame sooner than my opponent, right? That's what that means. However, how much of an advantage is being +1 there really, right? So after blocking a move, I'm gonna have Akuma do his 3-frame jab. One of the best 3-frame jabs in the business, goes mad far, confirms into knockdown, very good button. So it's likely to be the button they press after the EX dash straight. So it whiffs, but what can I do here? What can I do who's gonna press buttons? I'm +1. Can I press my medium kick? No. Can I press my medium punch? 5-frame move? No. Can't do my heavies. No, that's not gonna work out, right? Okay, so can I do my jab? We trade. My 4-frame jab trades with his 3-frame, which makes sense. Look at the frame data. I'm +1 here. I got a 1-frame head start on him, and then he starts his 3-frame. We clash on the same frame. Makes sense, right? What about my crouching jab? Same idea. It's also 4 frames. The only option I have left is my handy dandy 3-frame right here, standing light kick. Okay? It works. Hallelujah. I can stop Akuma from pressing a button here, autopilot, right? But what can I do from this? What can I actually do if I stuff his jab? Can I do anything? I can't link from it. This move allows me to link after if it hits counter hit, right? Which it will because he's mashing. I can do standing jab if he's close enough, but at this distance, I can't link anything after. The most I can do is commit to my Tara combo, but this Tara combo is extremely unsafe on block. -7 on the first 2 hits, -8 on the 3rd hit, and there's no way to hit confirm this. You have to commit. I can't link into my own 3-frame right after. So the only way for me to really get a knockdown is to go into an unsafe, unhit confirmable Tara combo. Or if I have V-trigger, obviously, this becomes a lot more powerful. Here. Point blank's what I wanted. There, that makes it really powerful to do that. But if you already noticed, at a distance, we're trading again. Depending on how deep my EX dash straight lands, I'm still +1, but at certain distances, like if I'm a little too far away, we trade. I don't beat the jab. I don't beat the jab. So what's going on there? I just showed that if I'm point blank, I win. If I'm a little bit spaced out, we trade. So what changed? The distance changed, and the distance impacts your advantage. When people talk about advantage, it's often they get lost in the numbers. They pull up the frame data, look at all the tools and everything, and they just see, oh, I'm +1 here, that's great. I'm +2 there, that's great. But what can you do with that frame advantage is the real question. And that becomes an equation of frame advantage plus your distance. So distance affects the options you have. Spaced out EX dash straight, I'm further away from him. My 3-frame, the first active frame must be whiffing. There's 2 active frames as I go out. 1, 2. 2 possible frames I could hit Akuma with that light kick. And the first one is whiffing, and then the second one is trading with Akuma's 3-frame based on the distance. And that could be a life or death scenario right there. You think you have a guaranteed way to pressure Akuma and get the last hit, and then he jabs you, you trade, you die. I've lost that way many times after EX dash straight. So you have to keep in mind spacing whenever you think about advantage, even on your own plus frames. What can you do with that advantage? Here's the next one that I want to talk about. So this is my dash low. I think it's a great move from Balrog, but it's -7 on block. -7, punishable. You would say this move is terrible. The advantage on block is awful. I can't use this move, right? It's always punishable. And if you only look at the frame data, you would go, yeah, it's -7. I have moves that are fast enough to punish that. But the question is, do you have moves that are fast enough and reach the right spacing to take advantage of your frame advantage? So obviously if I do a point blank, punish free every time, right? Now let me back up a bit. What if I hit it at the toes? Still -7. Still -7, but what is Akuma gonna do there? Crouching jab? No. Standing medium kick? Close. No cigar. Crouching medium punch? Nada. Nada. He doesn't have a move, if we ignore critical art, he doesn't have a move, a normal move, that will reach at this spacing to punish this move. So I'm -7, I'm at frame disadvantage, but am I really at that much of a disadvantage if he can't take advantage of the frame advantage? You guys still following? Spacing is huge to consider when you're looking at the frame advantage. Crouching medium kick and DP won't reach. I think sweep might work actually. There, you can sweep it from there. But not from there. Can't sweep it from there. And he can't sweep it from there. This is one of Balrog's best autopilot meaty setups. Just do throw, and then do dash low. That easy. I'm negative, but I don't really feel disadvantaged when I do this, because I have options. I'm using the spacing and the frame advantage to set up spacing traps. So after I do my dash low, I know that people probably want to take their turn back because they know that they should have the first move. They should have the first turn. They have frame advantage, but this is where Street Fighter V becomes a quick test, quick fact check. Like, hey, do you know what you can do here? Do you know what your options are at this spacing -7? What can you do? Comes a quick test. If they fall for the level 1, they're gonna whip that in front of me, and I'm just gonna do this every time. I'm gonna buffer my crouching strong. This gets so many people who don't know the Balrog matchup. You can't punish me. I'm -7. But because of the spacing, I wasn't really at that much of a disadvantage, and it can bait people to overextend on their perceived advantage. So frame advantage does not tell the whole story. You gotta look at the spacing on top of it, and that's what makes fighting games so interesting and dynamic, is that it's not just a pure math equation of am I plus or minus, it's not a static card game, right? You're modifying the spacing, you're setting up these traps, and you're dancing with the opponent in neutral to modify the spacing at all times, and then whoever has the most awareness of your advantage in any moment can capitalize on that, and by both not overextending when they perceive an advantage that's not there, and also by capitalizing on real advantage when they know for a fact at this spacing, at this frame advantage, I have these options. And that becomes the live dance that's going on with Street Fighter V. It's definitely not just about the numbers. You can't just open up the frame data apps and just say, oh, this is negative, this is plus. You got to think about what options you have. Like, yeah, I might be +2 here, but I can't throw you if they don't press a button. Let me correct that. +2, that's great. What can I do? Can't throw you. What options do I have here? +3, that's great. What can I do? I can throw you. Basic take throw example. Less pushback means I'm closer and I have more options to mix and throw. At this distance, I have to consider different options. Being +2 here is totally different than being +2 here. It's a world apart. It is a world apart. Being able to recognize that on the fly and structure your strings and spacing traps and frame traps to be able to take advantage of that, and then being also just having your third eye opened where you can recognize all these as your opponent is trying to throw you off, will definitely get you a lot of W's. So you can't just look at the numbers, you gotta factor in the spacing, and that builds the equation for what advantage really is. And that's it. End scene.